I get the opportunity to share, I always ask, what is best and highest to share? And guess what the title was? You probably can't guess. But I thought it was perfect after talking to Reverend Dan and realizing that you all were renovating your kitchen. He told me all about how you manifested the funds for it. I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. The title is, The Summer of Renewal is Upon Us. I was like, all right, that makes sense. So this is what I heard. I'm just gonna share a little bit of it with you to set it up. Now I know spring is supposed to be the season of renewal, but I'm here to remind you that the summer of renewal is upon us now. Yes, there are ways you can view life to say we are witnessing a collapse and a destruction, but the law of polarity will remind you that wherever there is the appearance of one, there must be the appearance of the opposite. So, I'm humbled to be here today, not because of any false concept that I'm not worthy, but humbled that we are all equally worthy and get the privilege of playing this role. Living the dream of being a reminder to those who pretend to remember. And don't get me wrong, at this level of consciousness, we really do forget. But the fact that we are all here bringing our collective remembrance and consciousness to experience this service in this moment by divine design is an honor and a humbling reminder of just how powerful we all are. This is a co-creation regardless of what it may appear to be. What you receive today will be a reminder that you orchestrated, and we all get the credit if anything moves you, if anything reminds you, if anything thrills you, or even empowers you to make any sort of shift for the better. We did that. When you walk into that new under construction kitchen, we did that, right? You, me, and everyone here. So let's dive in. We're all here today to remember together a very simple thing. And the way I hear it is this: our oneness, our perfection, and our power. See, the summer of renewal is renewing our perception of that oneness, that perfection, and that power to extend to ourselves, to extend to our neighbors, to extend to our nation, our world, our universe. It is the transformation and the renewal that happens at the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, the astral, and the multidimensional. So it's not just a sudden moment that changes everything. It's our changing everything each moment that renews us. It's not a single decision alone, but the decision followed by our presence, embodied, followed by the action expressed, followed by our continued vigilance to follow through that defines what we are being, doing, the quality of our thinking, informing the quality of our experience, and the quality of our doing, informing the quality of our materializations. Let that sit. I'm gonna break it down just in case it went over everybody's head, because that was a lot of words. When I was bringing it in, I heard, let that sit. So let's go over that one more time, because I was having a little tough time receiving it all. It is our changing everything each moment that renews us, not a single decision alone, but the decision followed by the presence. So we can decide And then we must embody and be that presence. Then the action. We listen and follow through with the action. And the continued vigilance to follow through that defines what we are being. The continued vigilance to follow through that defines what we are being, what we are doing, and the quality of our thinking informing the quality of our experience, the quality of our doing informing the quality of our materialization. Put them together and we're bringing a refined being to our doing. See, our renewal is renewing the ability to not only see ourselves as innocent, free of the judgment of imperfection, resentment, going from forgiveness to perfection, but seeing the past and the present as a continuum of divine perfection unfolding that leads us to this now. Never having left perfection, whole and complete, and simply experiencing the divine play that feels so real, yet gives us infinite possibilities to choose how we define it. Whether it's beautiful, horrific, we get to choose. Yet it continues to be neutral, energetic, and infinite. All right, so we get to decide this in this moment to renew, and in every moment through our simple practices and acts of alignment, of kindness, of love, our simple ways of being mindful, expanding, listening, and allowing that knowing, that source of genius to guide us. We are renewed each time we let go and let the I am direct our path. We are renewed each moment we decide to shift our perspective so that it aligns with all is well and always is. So I've been blessed to be renewed so many times that transformation has become a joke in our house. If I ask my wife what version we're on now, I don't know what she'd say, but we're probably past 11, right?
I like 11.
All right, she likes 11. So we'll say we're on John 11.0. But many changes that we've grown through together have been reminders that there's this powerful design in our lives that will lead us to exactly what we need. I love the daily word today because it was a reminder, such a beautiful reminder, that everything is sacred. And if we're taking that time to renew our minds, to be present, we can allow that wonderful essence that is moving everything to orchestrate our thinking, our speaking, our being, and be that presence in that very demonstration of harmony in every moment. Now here's the funny thing. When you're remodeling that kitchen, you're going in and finding things that have been there for years, right? We were talking about it at dinner. You got stuff in corners, things on the cabinets that you're pulling out and gotta strip out. Isn't it funny that our minds are the same way? When we're talking about transforming and being renewed, some of us got some junk stuck in the corners and under the cabinets that's got to be ripped out. And the funny thing is, it's not always pretty. Just as Reverend Dan was talking about. Like there is a process to anything new, any transformation. Sometimes, if you're lucky, it's like that and it looks great. But most of the time, you go through a period Just like when I was first growing my dreadlocks. I remember, I don't have them anymore, but I remember, as you could probably tell, I didn't even tell you that. But when I started, man, I looked like a little creature off of some sort of cartoon back in the slavery days or something. It was crazy. My mama didn't like it and I didn't like it. But eventually they grew. It's like, okay, now I like them. That transformation stage, sometimes we have to accept the pain, the discomfort, and embrace it, right? And change our thinking about what it's supposed to be like, because we'll end up rejecting the process and resisting and slowing it down even in a way that had we embraced it and shifted our mindset, we could see this will not only pass, but this is essential. What in our lives are we looking at with discomfort and resistance that the source of life is bringing us, and yet we're misperceiving this is for our good? What have we been asking for that the source of life brings an answer, but we misperceive it and begin to judge and resist it, thinking it's not really for us? No, I don't want that. But you asked me for this. You visualized the result. Now you got to go through the process, right? Sometimes it's easy to forget that divine order is always at play. Sometimes the renewing of our mind is getting rid of the stinking thinking that has us creating false separation and judgment and making everything about inferiority and superiority. Now, what do I mean? I'm not talking about race. Yes, it happens there too, but I'm talking about everyday common interaction. Maybe with your spouse, with your boss, with your friends, with your coworker, right? Inferiority and superiority is one of the ego's favorite ways to distract us from oneness. Ooh, I don't like the way she does that. Right? Ooh, I don't like the way he said that. Okay. That judgment will sneak up on us, right? And start creating separation and have us forgetting that I am you and you are me and you are a divine expression of the I am, sovereign in every way, perfect in everything you do. Although if you do that again, I might have something to say about it, but I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to let you know where I'm coming from as a divine expression, right? And I'm going to find harmony and love and respect and honor. Honor everything. Now we got a little funny thing in our house where, well, I live in Georgia, so, you know, they got these, what do you call them? Palmetto bugs. Anybody ever heard of those? That's a polite way in the South to say big roach. It's code for big flying roach that'll get on the wall and fly at you. Now, I'm not ashamed to say we've had them enter our house before. And these little fellas will jump off the wall and fly directly toward you. And my wife will scream like you have never heard and call upon every ascended master, including Jesus, for help, right? Now, when they come in, they will call me because they know I don't like killing them. I will grab a glass, I'll put it over, and I will put a sheet of paper and take them out the house, right? Now, it's not like I'm a Zen Buddhist or anything, but through meditation, my mind was renewed and I was shown how sacred all life is. And it made me stop killing. I don't even kill ants. I just don't want to. I'm like, I just don't want to do it, you know? It's like, because I feel it's sacred. Now, I don't judge. My son will go in and, like, there were some ants that got on the counter because somebody left some molasses or spilled something. And he puts water on. I'm like, son, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just drowning. They only live 2 weeks. I'm like, that's all the more reason not to drown. What you mean they only live 2 weeks? Come on, man. So I'm like, all right, so I'm not going to judge you, but just ask the divine about that. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure, because he's studying the Bible, like, in all your ways, acknowledge the I am. The I am will direct your path. He knows a little bit about the Bible. So I'm going there to say, as we're renewed, we begin to see things differently. we begin to renew our minds and realize even the ant has infinite value. Even the peanut has infinite value. Isn't that funny? George Washington Carver, my favorite example, I will bring him up and shout it from the mountaintop. A shaman who said God speaks through the plants. Over 400 inventions from a peanut, a shrub that was disregarded. Thanks to his work, it became one of the top 10 exports in the US, right? Amazing work, amazing mind, tapping into what we have been given. The summer of renewal is about recognizing that yes, it's summer and it's time to renew our minds, clean out the junk, deconstruct these patterns and personalities that have us limited to and comfortable in mess, suffering, judgment, separation. There is a power so great, it will heal us from even the misperception and belief in evil. What do I mean by that? I can tell you from experience, meditating and hearing from the I am that there is no evil. Now that sounds crazy, and it sounded crazy to me. And my ego was having a fist fight with the I am that I am, saying, what? Come on now, what about beheading? I'm throwing everything. I'm throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the I am, saying, I don't get it. You got to show me, you got to help me see this. What about child molestations? What about terrorist acts? What about, I'm just throwing it all. But I'm willing to hear, and I'm asking, show me, help me see this, because I don't understand it. And this wonderful power came, and I viscerally felt something come out of me. Felt like a sheet of thick energy. I'm on the bed meditating and just having this back and forth. And as that came out, all of a sudden the light went on. I no longer believe in evil, and I haven't ever since. Now, did that take logic to convince me? No. It took a greater power. It took what the Course in Miracles calls the Holy Spirit that corrects. See, the renewal that happens in the mind does not happen at the same level of consciousness that creates and believes in the problems we keep investing energy in. Problems like, I'm the problem, you're the problem. Problems like, we gotta fix the external. The misperceptions that have us forever shadowboxing to change the world when the solution has always been here. So that wonderful power will always bring us back and let us know everything we see is a mirror, because all consciousness is our consciousness. So it stops us from trying to change this, fight that, judge this and judge that, when the whole time we've been judging ourselves. And then it helps us heal, changes our perception, and begins to allow us to love ourselves and our neighbor as ourselves, because they are ourselves. My favorite received inspiration about that is, love your neighbor as yourself is not an analogy. It's a reality. Your neighbor is yourself. So it's a remembering, a realization, right? So I gotta get to this wonderful book I've been reading. I had the realization, I'm an epic fantasy fan, by the way. If anybody knows, like Game of Thrones, these long epic books and series. I'm on book 8 of one called, get this, Mark of the Fool. Now I'm gonna tell you why this was so amazing, because I'm reading it and loving it. It's got the hero's journey, transformation, renewal, deconstruction, everything we've talked about in it. But what blew me away, I started seeing the patterns of what I was receiving in the book. Sometimes I think these writers and authors, they may or may not be aware of what they're bringing in and how it parallels higher level consciousness. They're just tapping into their creativity. Maybe they know, maybe they don't, but I want to point out to you what I was shown. I wish I had numbered these pages because I'm skipping ahead here. Let's see where it is. Okay, here it is. And so I'll just start here. We get to choose, and we choose through our practices that interrupt the conditioned, limited thinking that distract us from our true identity and helps us remember instead higher identity. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. So, oh man, I gotta hurry up. It's also about artificial intelligence. If anyone's been messing around with that, listen to this. Not the artificial one, AI, but artificial identity. A lot of us are promoting our AI, our artificial identity in our own heads. That artificial identity with a name, history, preferences, and the like, limited in its thinking. And we've been playing the same game, going down the rabbit hole, similar to when we use AI in the current times. Anybody familiar with using AI to like try to code something or fix something a little more complex than just email copy? Or if you've tried this, listen to this. Lost my place, 1 second. What you intend to help becomes frustrating, depleting journey that feels like you've wanted time to fix things. And if you're paying for the service, the money that's going away is wasted as well, and you didn't even know how to redeem the situation because you keep going down the rabbit hole and it keeps getting worse. So if you're like me, when I first started trying to do these things, I realized yesterday morning during my morning practice that AI, in this wonderful book I'm reading called The Mark of the Fool, an amazing epic fantasy, has some things in common here. See, The Mark of the Fool is about a young man who receives a mark from God on his 18th birthday, and it interferes with his aspirations to be a great wizard. It prevents him from taking any action to protect others that involves touching a weapon or anything like that. So he's forced to strengthen his will, practice overcoming his mark's interference and distractions, and even finding himself at times physically wrecked by it the more he advances. Here's what I received in the morning meditation. You are both able and are doing exactly what is needed in this moment through aligning and listening, focusing on the I am, bringing it through, and are able to do so from moment to moment, even when eyes are open, moving and doing things. In every moment, you're able to do so. Thus, all you need do is allow from moment to moment this way, and can be free of the shackles of worry and distraction. The reality is that how much you desire to be free is the determining factor. You are more and more letting go of the suffering, recognizing the mark of the ego, and utilizing the source to master your will and go beyond the distractions, worries, and patterns that are coded, listen to this, that are coded in to keep you separate, or the illusion of separation, failure, etc. But now it is time for a breakthrough that is even greater. The source of life, the great I am, and the ascended masters will assist you in going beyond mastering your energy. Yes, this is grade school, if you will. Not really super high level mastery. This is simple mastery of alignment with the source and aligning and mastering frequency and energy. So we get to go from the distractions of the personality and the artificial identity to aligning with the source and remembering the true identity, renewing our minds. being transformed in this summer of renewal. Finally, I'll leave you with this. My favorite analogy I received was to think of it like a car. When you first get that new car, what happens? You jump in, everything's shiny, smells so good. My wife and I talk about that new car smell. And then it gets old, starts to run down, doesn't function quite as well, right? You wish you had that new car smell. The reality is our minds are the same. We're looking for that new thought smell in our stinking thinking. And we've got to clean it out. Some of us realize the answer is to go to the master mechanic, the source of the blueprint, and ask for that assistance. Some of us have been trying these practices to do it like we're the master mechanic at this level of consciousness called personality. We think John is gonna go in and fix it and instantly turn on that new car smell. John don't know what he's doing. John will mess it up. John will get in there and next thing you know, everything is leaking, right? Instead, John finally realized, oh, wait a minute. There's a higher I am. Let me integrate. See, it's not about getting rid of John. It's not about getting rid of the personality. It's not about getting rid of the ego. It's not about getting rid of the mark of the ego, the mark of the fool. It's about learning how to engage your will and connect the dots. If everything is divine order, then the ego is divine order, right? We get tricked into thinking it's the enemy, but some of y'all know this, it's not the enemy. You can actually benefit from the ego when you get it in check and you let the I am guide it. And suddenly your personality becomes the very thing that people see the light through because you've gotten out of the way and you let the I am integrate with your personality. You remove the separation like a tree. You begin to grow this way, but guess what? And that way. The roots go into the depths of the dark, into the depths of the ancestry, into the depths of the cultural history and traumas. And we bring the light. We bring the healing. We bring the renewal. Namaste.